no hat for the second time this week.
C Rose, what's up, man? This is just straight out of bed hair right now, but I figured I'd with it.
Okay, I'm being a company guy today. I just got a new hat. Oh, there we go. Both wearing our JOMBOY lids. I like it. Yeah.
This morning, man, I miss you.
Oh, well, here we are. We can talk. We're all good.
Hey, a lot of good baseball.
Real quickly, yesterday was the first Little League practice you had to coach. Did you run them into the ground like I told you?
We had a good practice. I was actually really impressed with some of the things we were able to do. We had some nice infield work. I did run the kids a lot. They love running. That's the thing. Their kids' favorite part of practice is running and racing and stuff like that.
They're too young to know any better. Don't worry, that'll catch up with them in about 3 months. Then they're going to be fish-eyeing you every day at practice going, really, Coach? We got to run again? Enough. With that being said, welcome everybody to baseball today. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Let's start at the American League wildcard standings, which had a flip-flop. Boston with a dramatic win. The Yankees lose again to Toronto for the third straight day. So the Red Sox have a half-game lead, thanks in part to Hunter Renfroe. 2-run shot in the eighth to give him the lead. And then backing up center field to nail Joey Wendell at third on what Wendell thought would be a 2-out triple. Instead, ends the game with a throwout, which I thought was really cool. Big picture here. Is Boston better equipped than New York to make an October run?
I love with you leading with the absolute fire question that's going to get me in trouble. If you take a look at the teams, I would say, yes, I do think Boston is better equipped for a playoff series. And I guess I have to explain why. In my opinion, the Yankees are, a little bit one-dimensional on offense. I think that's not a crazy take. We know that they rely on hitting extra base hits and slugging and they live for the 3-run homer. What's interesting, though, is if you go over to the Red Sox, so I think they can do that, but they can also manufacture runs. But if you go to the statistics, the Red Sox are better than the Yankees at scoring runs. Runs per game, they've scored more. They get on base more. They slug more, which means their OPS is higher. So statistically, they're just a better offensive team. The two teams pitching-wise, about the same. If Cole is healthy, I think maybe the Yankees have a better top 3 starters. Although you can argue that Eovaldi, Sale, and Tanner Houck could be okay.
Better than okay.
I think the Red Sox were just they're better equipped for playoff series, in my opinion, because they can do different things on the offensive side.
To me, there's one thing you won't find on a stat sheet, and that's grit. Boston seems to have it. They have been decimated by this recent COVID run. I mean, every day it seemed like for about 10 straight days somebody was getting put on that list. And not little guys, big guys, important guys to their lineup and their pitching staff. And somehow, not only have they kind of kept their head above water, but they've played pretty damn good baseball. Real quickly, I was so excited for I'm not a Red Sox fan. I'm an Indians fan. So I didn't have a dog to fight last night. But that Hunter Renfroe play last night was phenomenal. It's so rare you see a game end on a throwout at a base. And to see it in that sort of atmosphere happening after a guy gives them the lead, I thought that was so damn cool. Didn't you?
Yeah, it's we always say it usually happens the other way around. You make a good defensive play, and people are like, "Okay, get him up to bat, like the knock is coming." Well, he got the hit first, and then through who was it? It was Wendell.
Wendell.
Man, when you start to have some success during a game, it just kind of snowballs. You get that confidence. So Renfroe's been kind of. Every time I look at Red Sox highlights, Renfroe's been kind of all over him lately. So to have a guy like that step up when you're going through all the COVID stuff like you're talking about, that's exactly what a team needs during this part of the season. Everyone's going to be banged up. They need people to step up, and Renfroe's been that guy.
And by the way, everybody looks at the Red Sox, which they are, as a large market team. But the smartest signing they made all offseason was Hunter Renfroe for 1 year and $3.1 million after the Rays said thanks but no thanks and didn't tender him in the offseason. I mean, whoo! And it's one of the reasons I would pick the Red Sox as the correct answer to this question. The Yankees are too moody for me, man. They're happy. Let's go win 13 in a row. And then all of a sudden, let's turn around and drop 9 of 11. Stop. I like consistency. Win 4 in a row, drop 2, win 5 in a row, Drop 2. That's okay. This stuff
That's
is too much.
that's the hot and cold offense.
Yeah.
If you're striking out as much as they strike out, and you get a bunch of guys together on that page, it's going to be really tough for you. But when you get hot, which this could happen at any moment, if they all get hot at the same time, look out. That lineup could be absolutely explosive, and they could put 10 runs up in a game. But that's not necessarily what you want your offense looking like come playoff time, because the pitching gets trimmed down. It's the best of the best, and the strikeouts are going to start to pile up. Obviously they have already.
All right, let's move on to the shenanigans that happened in Atlanta the last couple of nights. Juan Soto gets hit on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, the Nationals start. Sean Nolan, first at bat against Freddie Freeman, throws behind him, then hits him. Umpires get together, decide to toss Nolan. Later in the game, Juan Soto hits one 462 off of Rodriguez to give them the lead in the 7th inning. So what was more interesting to you? Was it the hitting of the guys or the Soto hitting the smash that gave the Nats eventually the win?
This is like the hill that I'll die on. I hate that pitchers hit hitters intentionally. I think it's so stupid. Freddie, I think after the game, said that Will Smith didn't hit Juan Soto on purpose. Seems a little strange to me. They have some history together. I guess it was like Juan got too close on the on-deck circle.
Yeah, apparently Will Smith in a 2020 game did not like where Juan Soto. You know how you guys sometimes when you're in the on-deck circle move closer to home plate so you can get a better look? And he didn't like that. And then Soto took him deep, stood there and looked at it, and Will Smith motherfucked him. And he held on to it all this time. And then the other night when it was a 3-run lead, it wasn't a 1-run lead, it was a 3-run lead, and he plunked Soto.
When you get – I could go forever on this. I know we only have 20 minutes in this show. You can't see anything from the on-deck circle. I don't care how close you get. Guess what? There's video. I can go straight behind you and watch your pitches. If I'm standing at a weird angle in the on-deck circle, I'm not getting any more advantage. Pitchers need to chill out on all this stuff. So, yeah, he gets hit last year or hits the homer last year, then gets hit last night or 2 nights ago. And then Nolan, he doesn't want to hit Freddie Freeman. He was told to do that. You can see the look in his eyes. He goes behind him, which slipped according to the manager, and then he hits him again. I think Freddie handled it like a pro.
Oh.
The person that got the last laugh was Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Absolute moonshot. He's like, I'm just doing my job. I'm just a hitter. What I do is hit home runs. You don't have to beat me because I'm good at my job. I love that he blew a kiss to the Braves bullpen saying, that one's for you, buddy. And you're lucky you don't have to get in the box. Yep. You can just, take that pill and throw it wherever you want with zero repercussions. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, National League relievers really have it good. No question about it. Kudos to Freddie Freeman.
Yes.
You're not only an MVP player, you're an MVP dude. He totally diffused the situation yesterday. He and Soto chatted after the inning. And then I've never seen this. I have never seen a player go over to another manager, dap him up, and be like, I get it, but
yeah.
let's stop. Let's just stop. And I don't know what was said in those conversations, but I imagine it went something like that. Like, I understand. I've been around. I know how it is. You hit me in the hip. Still didn't feel good. Let's just stop with this stuff.
Why do we want to put our best players in danger? It doesn't make any sense on either side. It's like we need to stop it all.
Well, you know what? You know where it stops, though, Trev? Be honest. I used to have this discussion with all the old timers in MLB Network. I used to say, why does it happen? Well, we have to police our own game. Oh, okay. You know what? Why don't you call balls and strikes while we're at it, too, if you're going to police your own game? And why don't we, once there is a penalty, why don't we have a kangaroo court decide who gets punished? No, you don't police your own game. You don't.
It's when people say it's just a part of the game. It has been a part of the game. It was a part of the game. It doesn't mean it needs to continue to be a part of the game. There's a lot of stuff that's changed in baseball. Hitting guys because you can't get them out needs to change, needs to leave the game. There's so much information. Just try to get the guy out.
It's so dumb. I have to move on. Deep breath, Rose. Because Topps has released the highly anticipated 2021 Topps MLB Inception NFTs collection. It's inspired by the popular Topps Inception baseball physical product, now exclusively available at ToppsNFTs.com. It has everything from promising young stars, breakout rookies to veteran mainstays, and also introduces New Beginnings, which is a set that celebrates both new and familiar faces in new places. You can get the 5-card standard packs and the 25-card premium packs via credit card with NFT card rarities ranging from common to legendary. So go get yours. The packs are going to fly off, I guarantee you. It's the 2021 MLB Inception NFTs, available now on ToppsNFTs.com. And fear not, once those limited packs sell out, you can still get them. Topps NFTs at ToppsNFTs.com marketplace. All right, so you buy individual NFTs or unopened standard or premium packs, all from the same convenient location. That's ToppsNFTs.com. There you go. Boom. Let's get back to it. What are you laughing at, dude?
Funny. There's a funny line in the chat here because seeing Rose read words that he doesn't understand is hilarious.
I do understand it. I get caught because I want to try and still make eye contact while reading the paper. And I think next time I'm just going to read the paper.
Okay.
So tomorrow I might just read the paper. I'll save this paper for tomorrow.
Okay.
Adam Wainwright just turned 40 years old and he's balling. He did a great announcement with his family, asked all of his kids, hey, should I come back for 2022? Should I come back for 20? They all adorable. 4 girls and a little boy. They all said yes. So he will be back for yet another season in 2022. How shocked are you with the resurgence of Adam Wainwright over the last few years?
Personally, I'm not shocked, but definitely, it's surprising to see someone who seemingly was on the decline at the end of his career kind of have the year he had last year, then the year he had this year. But if you go ask his teammates, they're not shocked at all. The way the guy works, everyone talks about that. He prepares himself for these games, and they're not surprised that he's had this success. And I kind of dug a little bit deeper into like kind of what happened those years. I think, like say 18, 19 when he wasn't having a good time, and then what changed in 20 and 21. The curveball usage since 17, since 18, 19, 20, and 21, his curveball usage has been at its peak. He throws that pitch more than any other pitch. Really, like it's been his sinker. His sinker has just been better. The batting average on his sinker in 18 was 319. In 2019, it was 333. The batting average against the sinker in 2021, 176. So he's really playing that vertical game. He's got the big 12-6 curveball that goes up to down, and then he's got that sinker also going down, and that's really tough for a hitter. Guys have figured out a way to cover the zone horizontally. It's the vertical game now that plays. So with him, how tall he is, he uses his leverage and then still goes on that vertical plane, and he's kind of just figured that out. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does the thing again in 2022. He has the stuff to do it. He's just got to convince Yachty to come back one more year.
Well, he did. Yachty did. He got extended. I think while you were throwing up that one night in the toilet, you might miss that. But Yachty is back.
Perfect.
A 1-year extension.
He's ready.
Vertical, horizontal. I was a good math student. I sucked at geometry, so I'm going to let you handle that stuff. For me, 16 of his 28 starts this year, he has worked into the 7th.
Yeah.
He has thrown the second most innings in all of baseball this year. He has an ERA under 3. He's not a big strikeout guy anymore. He is getting it done, and I love to see it. If the question is, how shocked are you? If we're going on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at about an 8.5. I am. The guy's 40 years old. Most guys are retired. They're moved on to the second half of their life. I thought that was going to happen. Last year, he only made 10 starts in the abbreviated season. So I kind of put that up. Even though it was a really good year for him, I just kind of put it over here. Before that, the last season in which he had an ERA under 4 in a full season for him, I think one year he had like 7 starts, was 2014. It had been a while since he had been more than an average pitcher. He has come back. he is going to finish in the top 5 or 6 in the Cy Young voting. He damn well better get more than $8 million like he got this year. Bueno, I know this is your franchise. I know you've already made $150 million. Don't let them get away with that. Don't let them get away with that. You earn every dollar you can, brother. You deserve it. And I am proud of him. I am happy for him. He's a fun-loving guy. He's a good dude. He's a great teammate. I'd love to have him on the Rose rotation sometime soon.
What it seems like to me is if you can have one plus pitch like he has with his curveball, the data that's out there now, they can kind of game plan your pitch selection, your sequencing around that. And that's kind of what they've done. And Wainwright's, he's an old school guy, so he puts in the work. He wants to go deep into games, so he understands the importance of getting ahead. Like his location, his ability to locate is, some of the best in the league. And I think teams are going to start to realize that you can coach up velo and you can coach up stuff now. You can pitch design with these dudes, with these cameras. So I think the days of drafting and just going after guys that have stuff, I think might be on the decline. I think you're going to start to see teams and organizations say, who can pitch? Who has a pitcher's mind? Who can locate? Because we can teach you velo and we can teach you stuff. When you combine those two, it's easier to go the other way, I think, in today's game than having someone with just crazy stuff that has no idea where it's going. I think it's hard to teach them how to locate. But the other way, I think you can teach, and Wainwright's kind of like a shining example of it right now at the twilight of his career.
Very good. Good stuff. And good stuff for the Giants, who won their Major League Best 90th game yesterday. So, big picture here. Were the Phillies too quick to toss aside their young, inexperienced manager, Gabe Kapler, after just 2 seasons? Or has he just matured by the bay?
It's probably a little bit of both. After he got fired from the Phillies, I went on this network that I was doing stuff for a couple years ago, and I blasted the Phillies. I said that's ridiculous. He was a scapegoat because they had just signed Harper to that massive deal, and they didn't meet the expectations that they had for themselves. I don't think it was Gabe's fault at all. There was a few situations that really got blown up when he called for a reliever when nobody was warming up. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of never left the Gabe there. So there are people who say, he wasn't a good fit in Philly. I think that's bullshit. I think Gabe Kapler is a fit anywhere you put him. If you know how he lives his life and how he prepares and how he motivates people, then you know he's going to be a good manager anywhere. I think the Giants knew that, got him, and they've got to steal. I think Gabe is going to be a manager with the Giants as long as he wants. It's going to go from Bochy to Gabe, and it's going to be a very similar thing where he's there for a long time, maybe until he wants to go somewhere else or step down.
Well, it's real interesting. I did a radio show last night in San Francisco, and they said, listen, Gabe Kapler is going to be the runaway winner for NL Manager of the Year, which is no question. Might probably be unanimous. They said, well, how much credit should he get? Farhan has done a great job putting this together. They've built a great coaching staff, apparently, behind the scenes, does great work. A lot of these veterans have bounced back. They've got guys like Wade who have popped out of nowhere. Webb has developed in front of their eyes. They've gotten some, nice one-year signings. I said, okay, great. We understand that in today's game, the manager doesn't do as much as he did 15 years ago. We get all that. But if you're the best at how you're doing it in today's game, then I'm going to give you all the credit in the world. I don't care what your job description is. I'm not comparing you to Tony La Russa of the 2000 season. I don't care about that stuff. This is the way the game is managed. This is the way it's processed before first pitch. This is the formula we're using. Fine. It still takes somebody to motivate these guys and get them pointing in the right direction. For the first time, the Giants have won 90 games in their first 140 games for the first time since 1913. That's some Christy Mathewson shit.
How was the weather that year? It's good.
Okay. I always debate whether or not I want to bring up a certain date with you just because you're better than that. You went to Crespi. You could have gone to USC or Stanford. That's low-hanging fruit. Be better.
You're right. Let me say this about Gabe and managers in general. What you want in a manager is someone that is consistent with their mindset, that shows up every single day. If there's anybody better than Gabe at that, please let me know. This dude will eat the same thing every day. He'll work out the same every day. He shows up prepared every single day. And when you have that example right in front of you, because that dude's in the weight room, you know Gabe is working. And you're like, if my manager is doing that, I better get on it too.
Hold on. That's not the reason the Giants have all of a sudden burst onto the scene this year and reinvented themselves, is because Gabe's doing 95-pound dumbbells with curls.
You said it yourself. Managers aren't responsible for all these victories, okay? You have to have the players. You have to have the right coaching staff. So the front office, kudos to them for finding some diamonds in the rough. And then the coaching staff for developing some of these guys and taking those analytics and making it palatable for these players. But Gabe, for what managers do, he's the best at. Showing up every single day like that, showing you and setting an example, there's nobody better than Gabe Kapler. And Chris, I worked out with that dude for a couple different off seasons, and there was no better motivator for me. Like, I'm watching this dude who's at the tail end of his career, who had like basically his whole lat torn off, doing pull-ups with a 100-pound weight strapped to him. And like, he's like, yeah, the doctor said I'd never be able to do pull-ups again. Look at me now. Like, he's that kind of guy. I'll defend Gabe forever. I could talk about Gabe forever.
All right. Well, we don't have time today. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame. Did you get to watch the speeches?
Let me say this. No, I didn't get to watch the speeches because they were on Wednesday in the middle of the freaking day. I don't understand MLB, and they got Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most people have been waiting to hear his speech. And then you plug it in midday on a Wednesday. I don't get it. So you're going to have to tell me what happened.
Okay. So the question is, biggest takeaway. And for me, I did watch the whole thing because I was home yesterday, and I'm a loser and I don't have anything else to do with my life. So I thought the great thing about the three speeches was that I found out and I knew exactly who each person was just by the tone of their speech. With Jeter, buttoned up, non-emotional. I wish he would have cried, but that's not him. I guess that's on me. Like, I wanted him to be something yesterday, and he wasn't. And that's exactly who he was throughout his entire 2-decade career. Larry Walker is a goofball, man. And that's what I wanted. I'm surprised he didn't flick boogers on anybody in the front row. Like, he had a little SpongeBob thing on his lapel. He told an amazing story about when he was, fresh in rookie ball or whatever, and he, on a fly ball, he ran back in between the bases, cut across the pitcher's mound because he didn't know the rule. Like, that was perfect Larry Walker. It was great. It was funny. I expected him to break out like a Molson Ice in the middle of the thing. And then Ted Simmons, I was actually a huge Ted Simmons fan from his Brewers days. Well, that was like during my time when I was growing up in baseball. I was like, God, that's cool. I love Ted Simmons, but I knew nothing about him personally. Shame on me. I should have known more. He sounded like the most awesome professor you'd want to ever have in college. That's what he sounded like. Even the way he delivered his speech, I was like mesmerized by it. So good. Go back and watch him. Go pull him up on MLB.com. Do yourself a favor. Spend an hour, quiet time, listen to each of the speeches. You'll thank me later. Okay.
I watched a few of the highlights. I saw some things that went on. I just don't understand why it has to be midday on.
No, listen, this was a rare occasion.
Okay.
And I agree with you. I think what they need to do in the future is they need to find a Sunday night in July, at the end of July, no Sunday night baseball.
Sure.
Everybody's attention is turned to the Hall of Fame. That's what we do.
Okay. I like that.
Okay. What do you have on JOMBOY Media?
Well, Chris, as you know, Thursdays are my easy day, although I do have an episode of Sequence premiering today a little bit later. We go over Marcus Semien and a bat he had off Sergio Romo this year. And it was, so broke that down. Tomorrow we'll have the Friday episode of baseball, talking baseball. But that's it, man. What you got?
We had Lucas Giolito available on the Rose rotation for the first time in about 6 weeks. And it is, I'll be honest with you, it's the best Giolito episode we've done. I really think so. He was relaxed. He was calm. He He's in a good place. He'll tell you where he is physically with the hamstring, but he takes us behind the scenes at the Field of Dreams game, takes us inside the clubhouse because I didn't know what it was like. I didn't even know if they had showers or shitters or what they have. So it was really, really good and fun. So go out and enjoy that. And I'm excited because I am about to have my first in-person training session with my trainer since the pandemic started. I've been doing it on Zoom. And
the gym?
No, I'm not going to the gym. She's got a great setup at her house.
Oh, perfect.
And yeah, but I need to do that. You know, I had a little bit of a health scare recently, and so I don't want to be passing out on Zoom and nobody can revive me.
Okay.
So I was like, you better save my ass if something goes wrong here. You got it?
Yeah, be careful, man. I need you every day at 8:30.
I know. And I stepped on the scale today for the first time in months, and it was not pretty. It yelled at me. It said, "Hey, fat ass, get off!"
That's what Vegas will do to you.
It was more than Vegas, though, brother. I was only in Vegas for 2 weeks.
All right, I'm going to get a run in right now. So me and you, let's go get our physicality on.
I love it.
And
I love it.
Tomorrow morning, same time.
Everybody have a great, great day. Enjoy your baseball today. Enjoy the NFL kickoff, too. That'll be fun tonight. Yeah. All right. See you tomorrow.
Love you, C-Rose.
You too, bro.